Josh Giddy gets his first triple-double in the Chicago Bulls uniform. Matas Buzelis has his first 20-point game as well in his young career. And also Nikola Vucevic leads the Chicago Bulls in 21-point scoring. We're going to talk about it all and more as the Bulls get an important dub. They get a dub over the Brooklyn Nets. All of that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this win for today. The Bulls get a win over the Brooklyn Nets, the carcass of the Brooklyn Nets. For a large part of this game, the Brooklyn Nets were fielding players out there that weren't even NBA level players. But we're not going to crap on the win. The Bulls need wins. These are the type of teams that the Bulls should be able to beat. And for what it's worth, I mean, they did it efficiently. 52% from the field today, 34% from three-point range, 84% from the free throw line as well. Did the Chicago Bulls perform in this game? And in the second half, the Bulls just ran away with this game. In a game that had a pretty close back and forth first half, the Bulls came out the gate in that third quarter and outscored the Brooklyn Nets by 14 points in the third quarter of this game. That's really the Nets were never back in the game after that, despite some runs that they went on, a 13-point run at one point, a 10-point run in the first half of the game. They never went on another run like that after the Bulls came out firing in the third quarter. And that is a key for this team, is how you come out in every quarter, really, but you really want to put your foot on the necks of some teams. And the Bulls finally did that, winning that third quarter by 14 points, winning the fourth quarter by 6 points. But the game was basically out of hand. You knew it was going to win this game going into the fourth quarter, but it's the Bulls, so things could always go left when it comes down to it. So you love to see them be able to go ahead and seal in a victory. And that's what you want to see. Matas Buzelis had his best night as a pro. 22 minutes, 7 of 10 from the field, 4 of 5 from three-point line. He had 5 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 blocks in this game. And he only had 2 personal fouls and no turnovers. Overall, really good game from Matas Buzelis Matas Buzelis and how he was able to perform consistently in this game. And hats off to Billy Donovan as well for actually doing this smart thing and playing your rookie who played well in the first half. In the second half of the game, you look at Matas Buzelis, he played 9 minutes in the second half of this game. I would have honestly liked to see it even higher than that, if we're just being 100% honest, after playing 12 minutes in the first half of the game. But Matas Buzelis had it going today. He was confident shooting the ball, all those type of things that you want to see from Matas Buzelis. He had on display tonight, and he gave a really big effort, and it was really important for that. Just to see that type of game, 22 minutes from him. Josh Giddy, 20 points in this game, 11 assists, 13 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. He did have 5 turnovers. 3 of those turnovers came all in like a weird 3-minute stretch there for Josh Giddy at the end of that first half. But he got the triple-double, and you know what that means. Since Josh Giddy hit his triple-double, it's Vegemite time. So I already have it prepared here. Here goes my bread. I got it together. Nice German roll here. I got my Vegemite. See the Vegemite's on that mug. Why is it so thick? It's actually not that bad. It's actually not that bad at all. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Interesting taste, but it's all right. Vegemite's in. Don't ever say every triple-double that Josh Giddy has this season, we're going to be having a different, I'll be eating Vegemite. That's crazy. Man. All right. Anyway, Nikola Vucevic leads the Chicago Bulls in scoring 21 points from Vooch, 8 for 11 from the field, efficient night from him, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal in this game. It's a little after bite to that, though. Y'all didn't warn me about the bite afterwards. Anyway, has a really interesting taste. It's not bad, though. Not bad at all. The Chicago Bulls still in this game gave up almost 40 points in the paint, but hey, no 50 points, nothing like that. So the Bulls controlled the points in the paint. They actually won the battle of points in the paint in this game. The Chicago Bulls actually scored 62 points in the paint. So it's really good to see the Bulls on the opposite side of the points in the paint differential to where they're on the positive side of that. So shout out to them there. The free throw, they got really underway in the first half of this game. It was a really big discrepancy with the free throws. If I'm not mistaken, let me pull it up. In the first half of the game, the Brooklyn Nets had 11 free throws, so only 3 to the Chicago Bulls. You flip that in the second half, the Brooklyn Nets had only 4 free throw attempts, where Chicago Bulls had 16 free throw attempts. That's via the Bulls being more active, attacking the rim more, getting out in transition a little bit more naturally. Those things help the Bulls attacking the offensive side of the ball, and that's how they're going to need to do it. Turnovers, still 16 turnovers today. You'd like to see that a little bit better underhand, but overall, the Bulls played a really efficient brand of basketball, especially with the pace that they like to get up and down the court on. And so it was really good to see the Bulls just, again, against an inferior opponent. We want to keep this in the perspective. This is against the Brooklyn Nets, and a Brooklyn Nets team that was missing all of their key players, basically, except Dennis Schroeder. And so, these are the type of games that you want the Bulls to win. And so while you don't want to analyze what this win was for the Bulls, it's just the fact that the Bulls were able to take care of business. We haven't been a team that's taken care of business. How many games over the last 2 or 3 years have we seen from the Chicago Bulls in which it's a team that was missing a player or missing a star, or a team that was just worse than the Bulls that we expected them to win, that the Bulls came in and laid a goose egg. So, the fact that the Bulls took care of business, it feels good, because you don't want to lose against a team like the Brooklyn Nets that was missing this many pieces of their roster. Now, I do think that a fully healthy Brooklyn Nets team gives the Bulls a run for their money, just being honest with it. But this is the type of games you need to come in here and you just need to be efficient. You need to take care of business. The Bulls shot with a 63, almost 64 true shooting percentage in this game. And you saw the confidence start building from everyone out there, right? Lonzo and his time out there and the confidence that he was playing with, getting all up and down the court, being active, being that terror on defense that we've seen him be. 13 minutes, they kept the minutes restriction down for him in this game, but he had an overall positive effect on the game when he was out there. THT continues to find a way to be productive. 3 for 8 from the field, which isn't terrible, but it's definitely not great. But the assists, the steals, rebounds. THT made some really big plays for the Bulls today as far as momentum plays. We talked about Matas Buzelis. Jalen Smith had a dunk in this game. That, hey, man, you got to give him a lot of credit. Jalen Smith is a dog as well, man. Yeah. Hey, man. It's a bit of an afterbite with that Vegemite, is all I'm saying. It is what it is. I need to wash it down with some whiskey. Bro, what would you do if Jay Carter got a triple-double? No, I mean, good. Now, can you trade him right after? Listen, that would be the thing. If Javon Carter gets a triple-double, I don't give a damn what the goddamn value is. You trade him the day after that. You trade his ass. You get his ass up out of there. Keep Giddey away from your daughters. Here we go with the stupid shit. You know what? We don't have time for idiots today. Imagine bubblegum flavored Vegemite from Billy. That's what? That's crazy. I'm more surprised you had some on hand. I thought you'd have to go. I did. I ordered it. Probably. I think it was in Did we come up with the bet in preseason? And I ordered it in preseason, just waiting for the time when he ever got his triple double. So. We got a bunch of fast break counters too. Defense was listen, the Bulls defense was active today. And you really got to give credit for how much effort this team was giving on the defensive side of the ball. And that kind of goes into like it's infectious, right? Most of the defense, and not all, right? But I think if you get players to all buy in and be active defensively, you can have at least a middle of the pack defense in the NBA. If you can get every team with a solid scheme as well, but if you can get every player on your team to give effort defensively, you can be a pretty solid defensive team. You're not going to be a lockdown defensive team, but you can hover between 15 and 18 as far as defense. The Bulls today, they built off each other's momentum. When somebody was giving effort defensively, when they was diving on the floor, and a lot of that can be looked at as Lonzo and Io really setting the tone in the first half, but Giddey was giving effort defensively today. He's never going to be a shutdown defender or anything like that, but when you have Josh Giddy playing with confidence, right, and that's something I've been really talking a lot about with Giddey recently, I've noticed Giddey is a confidence player. And when his confidence is going, he's giving effort defensively. He's still going to get cooked sometimes, but he's giving effort. He's taking players off the dribble. He tries to get a little bit more physical, getting to the rim. It's the confidence. You got to build Josh Giddey's confidence. Again, it's not like he had an amazing night tonight as far as shooting the ball, but you got to actually watch this game and see how he was, the heads-up plays that he made, how he got other players involved outside of just the 11 assists. People are going to try to look at this and say, yeah, he got 11 assists. He was getting players involved. It was more than just that. It was the intentionality behind the way that he moved and manipulated. Basically, if we were talking about it in football sense, how a quarterback manipulates the pocket, right, to move it to the way that they need to in the defenders, Josh Giddy did that a lot with the defense today. He manipulated the defense and that was able to create lanes for his opponents and for his players. And so that's why it's really important for Josh Giddy to have athletic players, defenders out there, and players that are going to move without the ball. You do that, you're playing that consistently, Josh Giddy is going to have big nights. And it's not just about, I saw somebody mention, well, you see with more, it wasn't just about the more minutes today. It was just about the fact that, like, Josh Giddy was playing with a lot different level of confidence today. And you saw it all on his face. And it's almost like when he got that last assist on that triple-double, it was almost like a relief there. And I wonder if, like, now Josh Giddy's going to build off that. Now, the Bulls have a couple of days off, right? We don't play again until my birthday on Thursday, I believe. So they got a couple of days off, but you got to find a way to keep up that momentum, whether it being practice, challenge each other, whatever else it is. You're coming up against the San Antonio Spurs. On the next one, it's going to be difficult to get easy shots at the rim against that Spurs team with Wemby being on it. But, you know, I see how the confidence continues to build for these ones. It'll be really interesting to see. DT shot 100%. Yeah, how many shots did he take, though? 1 for 1. But he was +5. So shout out to DC there. Hey, look at THT2, who's getting buckets, had a couple assists. Yeah, no, THT was getting active today. He was getting active today. Team dynamics has got to get it done against bad facts. You got to get it done against bad teams. You have to. You have to. Hey, next you have to eat something super hot. Oh no, like spicy food is my jam. So like that would be too easy. That's a layup for me. I love spicy food. People said we lost Giddey trade, and I would like to know how. Because the Bulls have been losing, and honestly, like we can't just look at just this game. Honestly, for people that are saying that we lost the Giddey trade, I still think it's too premature to call it yet. But there's an argument to be made there. How bad Josh Giddy looks on defense sometimes. The fact that the Bulls in most clutch games and close games end up sitting Josh Giddy rather than playing him. There's a case to be made there. I think either way, it's way too premature on that conversation to say win or loss, because I tell you what, if the OKC Thunder, if Alex Caruso ended up leaving in the offseason and he leaves the OKC Thunder and it doesn't end up in a title or anything, but Josh Giddy re-signs here and has a solid, doesn't have to be great, even if he just at that point has a solid 3-4 years in the Bulls uniform after the season, the Bulls won that trade because you got more out of it, right? So it's really like trades you look at initially, you look at when the season starts, but then again, you got to look at the long-term part of it as well. You got to do a little Vegemite with butter. It takes the edge off. Okay. All right. See, look, y'all hipping me. You're hipping me. Do you come from a land down under? Oh yeah, where women go glow and men plunder? What is that from? Did you just make that up on the fly? Jalen Smith's starting would be fire. Well, I mean, for offensive purposes, but Jalen Smith is just as bad as Vooch defensively. Good win, Bulls. Buzelis is getting his confidence back, even though Nets didn't have Bill Russell 2.0 and Cam. Giddey is fitting in well. Triple dub for him is uplifting. Good win all around. Yeah, just a solid win overall. Solid win. Heard it earlier, and we'll probably stick Taylor Horton Chucker. I mean, listen, it is what it is, man. I said it before. I still don't understand why Matas Buzelis isn't starting while Pat is out. Isn't this why we drafted him? No, we drafted him to develop him. and we drafted him to do that. So he doesn't necessarily starting, but you got to look at the Bulls, where the Bulls fall. I don't think this is like an indictment on Matas. The Bulls need some defense out there, and they're going more deep. Matas Buzelis is just not good defensively yet. He has his moments, but he's not good defensively yet. Where'd you get that shirt? Oh, listen, this is not one I'm sharing, not yet. I'm sorry. Like this is an exclusive. I actually have, so it's a collection I got. It's 3 exclusive tees that I got. And they're part of like a drop. The drop's already over with, so I couldn't even tell you guys about it regardless. But they're coming back out with the drop in a week. I think they rotate like different drops every week. And I'll give you guys the link there. But yeah, it's one like this. It's a Kobe one, and then it's another one with the skyline of Chicago, but the skyline's made up of all the Chicago greats athletes. And so it was a nice drop. It was a nice drop. Yo, Haize, hot toast, lots of butter, and tiny bit of Vegemite, bro. Good to see Giddey's confidence up and looking like he's enjoying hooping again. And great to see almost 22 Buzelis minutes. Completely agree with you, Scott. Completely 100% agree with you. Is it just me or does Giddey play much better without Kobe? Listen, you try that and you still ain't spell his name right. Still ain't spell his name right. A Vegemite glizzy is wild. Why? What? Let me find out somebody out here putting Vegemite on the glizzy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Haize, I agree with your defensive take. Just look at Denver during their championship run. Even the Joker was trying to play defensively. Yeah, it's contagious. It really is contagious. Miles is going to be a star, man. So overlooked and underrated by the rest of the league because Billy doesn't give him minutes. He's going to be a star. Listen, I said it before, and I've argued with somebody in the chat before. Matas Buzelis has the highest ceiling right now of anybody on the Chicago Bulls. And some of that's just by the nature of him being a rookie that was just drafted, right? Like they're always going to have super high ceilings over players that have been in the league 3-4 years. But Matas Buzelis, like it's also the mentality, right? It's not just the fact of the raw skill set. It's also that he has the type of mentality that you see from players that like turn into great players, whether it's a great overall, great role, whatever the future holds. Like you just trust Matas Buzelis to be the type of player to maximize on his potential, at least in my opinion. And so that's why there's a lot of confidence in what Matas can turn into for sure. And that coach is how you lift Giddey's confidence. He's a good player, just needs to be more consistent. Hey, feel you on that one. Who could Matas start over in the starting lineup? Nobody. Also note that Levine got hot offensively after that strong defensive stance where old boy could not bully him off the block. Listen, and the thing, like Zach LaVine has always had the makeup to be a really good, like the physical makeup to be a really good defender. He's always had. Now, again, this is against the Brooklyn Nets. We're always going to put that in perspective. But Zach is having his best defensive season, his most active, consistent defensive season. And he like the athleticism, the size, the wingspan, like Zach has all the makeup to be a solid defender, to above average defender if you really bought in on that side of the ball. But what he's doing consistently this year defensively is really good to see from him. It's really good to see from him. Giddey thrives with players that will get out and run. Yeah, I mean, he has that, him and Lonzo. They have that type of skill set. John, if Kobe's out long term, do you think Matas should start over JP? I not right now, because I think again they're looking at the defensive aspect, right? But I can see a case being made. Matas Buzelis strings together some more games like this. And I'm not saying he has to score 20 points, but just games where he's decisive. Like you saw Matas Buzelis out there that was decisive. He was attacking again. Some of those minutes, a lot of those minutes, probably about a third of them, if not more, were against non-NBA caliber players. You just got. I always want to be fair and put that part of it into perspective. But Josh Giddy had a really good night tonight. Really good night. Lonzo adds so much morale effort boost to his teammates that's hard to define without watching the game. That's a great point. Sounds like you're talking about 2K, but it's actual factuals for sure on that one. Jamal in the building says, Haize, do you get to see the useless AI chat summary? It says this conversation is about Vegemite and which of the Bulls could start. Where I didn't even know YouTube shows an AI chat summary. I had no idea. I honestly didn't know that YouTube shows. I don't even know how to get to that. I have no understanding of how to get to an AI chat summary. That's crazy. I didn't even know that was there. Shooting more threes in the UC also blew my mind that they rarely practice at the UC. Well, yeah, so most NBA franchises don't practice in the arena. Like you have practice facilities, right? So you don't practice and so you don't typically practice at the UC. But I mean, they moved it there. I mean, we'll see what that changed for the team. I personally have an actual conspiracy theory on that. You guys follow me? So CHSN's offices are in the United Center, and I truly think the reason why the Bulls, and keep in mind, Jerry Reinsdorf owns, he's a majority owner in CHSN. So personally, I think that the Bulls move the practices over to the UC just so the reporters and videographers and all that could just have easier access to Bulls practices. That's my personal conspiracy theory. I haven't read that anywhere. If anybody else has said it, I haven't seen it anywhere. But I do think that that could be a part in it as well. I think that that could be a part in that. Haize, Tim Tam's next triple. Now listen, we sticking to the Vegemite. Y'all ain't been finna be have me eating marsupial in this motherfucker. The only reason we lost Giddey trade is that we undervalued Caruso and didn't get a pick back as well. Player for player, though, I really don't think we lost it all. That's fair. That's fair. And of course, you're going to see how it's going to work long term, but definitely fair. Haize, if Josh Giddy gets another triple W, you got to try Tim Tams. Listen, I've told y'all before though. I've had Tim Tams before. Tim Tams aren't foreign to me. So I've had Tim Tams before. So that like I mean I could try like, but I've had Tim Tams before. That's not new to me. No, there's some super hot spicy. You'll have to be crazy to try, but if you are game, I can tell you. Oh, listen, I've done a lot of it. I've done a lot of it, bro. Man, if we can get to 10-13 against the Spurs, oh boy, oh boy. We'll see. We'll see. It's not even about that. Like, it's about sustaining it. Like, if they can sustain, like, cool, whatever. You're gonna have to put Buzelis in the intro soon enough. Hey, listen. Well, if you notice, the intro isn't a lot of current Bulls. It's a lot of old school Bulls, and I did that for a reason, right? So I had the old intro use was just all of current Bulls, and then as we started trading, people went down with injury. It was like that can get dated really quick. So the highlights that I have picked are basically some of the best highlights in Chicago Bulls history, and then though I do have I have some certain spots in there of current Bulls to where I can flip flop in and out, so I don't have to do a whole new intro again per se. I just have to change a couple of the spots in there. So slightly disappointed in Julian Phillips. There was potential here, but he seems to be shooting too many threes. Well, keep in mind, I've told you guys, what have I told you a lot before? Most of the time, for the starting four in Billy Donovan's offense, they just stand in the corner taking threes. But Julian Phillips gave energy. He rebounded really well today. He had a block shot, a steal. He was getting active. He played 26 minutes, but at the end of the day, offensively, like Billy Donovan just does not really run actions for the power forwards. He just doesn't. So you got to be out there aggressive. You got to hope you're going to get out in transition, those type of things. I can agree with you on one thing with Zach. If Zach puts effort into his defense, he could be a very good two-way player. Yeah, and I've said it many times before. I've gone over the numbers. Zach LaVine is on pace to have his first plus defensive season of his career as a defender. That's crazy. That's crazy. Cannon in this bitch says, I think the fan base gets a little too worked up on who starts. The total minutes and who ends games is more important. I can feel where you're coming from with that one. Audio. Audio what? What about the audio? Are you saying the audio sounds weird? Is that what you're saying? I'm just surprised the Bulls have 9 wins this season. I mean, hey, next got Josh Giddy triple double. Haize is eating kangaroo meat. That is crazy. That's crazy. That's funny. For the next triple double, you got to try Margot Robbie. No giggity. That's crazy. That's wild. Wait, Jerry has ownership in CHSN. Oh, never getting back Comcast with that. Yeah. That's part of the reason why they moved there. I'm just happy to see some good basketball. It was good basketball today for sure, for sure. Jonathan says, super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel, brother. Love the podcast. Been listening since Giddey became a bull. Here's some cash so you can buy some butter to go with the Vegemite next time. Giddey gets a triple double. Tastes much better that way. Okay, I know. See, BKR didn't listen. The man was screaming in my Facebook Messenger that it was Vegemite time because I couldn't let the bro down. He didn't say, hey, Haize, by the way, bro, before you put a little butter on there, it takes the bite off. He didn't tell me that. He didn't even care. He didn't even care. And BKR is supposed to be my brother. That's wild. That's wild. We can sustain it. We started 5-14 last season, and our ratio to wins to losses from that one. Bucks. No, that's not. No, we can't. Because even when we started 5-14 last season, that was with. It was a much different thing because Vooch was playing bad at the start of that. Zach LaVine was in and out of the lineup. Kobe White out of those games. 14 out of the first 21 games, he didn't score 20 points. It's not the same. This start of the season, Zach's playing out of his mind. Vooch is playing at an all-star level. Kobe's been way more good than bad. He's only had 8 games of not scoring at least 20 points so far this season. So all those things, like, it's not the same. When you want to just compare the record, you got to compare on how you got there. It's not just the record. It's how you get there, and that's why it's not sustainable. Good example, like you mentioned, comparing Phillips and P. Will in the Billy system for the most part, certain sets. Yeah, these are the exact same way. Why don't you ever wear any Derrick Rose drip? If you notice, I don't wear any specific player drip a lot. I wore my Derrick Rose jersey once on the show, but I think my Derrick Rose is the only the jersey is the only drip. I have the black jersey, I have the old the white one, but those are basically heirlooms at this point. I don't really pull them out to wear them. They're kind of in there to look. Audio is good. It was shaky when he said it, but it's fine now. Oh, okay, cool. The Bulls team is just one defensive big man away from relevancy. One that would anchor. No, they're not. I'm sorry. I hate to tell you. No, they're not. One big defensive anchor big man doesn't change. He changes a lot. Now, I mean, he changes some, but he doesn't change the weak perimeter defense. When you let people get to the rim so easy, unless they're a generational shot blocker to where they're going to block 5 shots per game. It's just the Bulls allow way too much penetration. Our defense is way too weak out on the perimeter. We're a good offense by pace because we get so many extra shots up, but we still don't have any type of half court sets, which is going to be really easy for opposing defense to figure out. The Bulls are a lot more than one defensive big man away from being relevant. Now, a defensive big man could probably push them to being a playing team, but not really being relevant. I would love Zoe and my cousin trade to the Spurs. First of all, no, we're not letting Julian Phillips go. What are you talking about? Hayes, do you think that they will make any trades before Christmas? Before Christmas, I doubt it if it's before, because keep in mind, what is it that it's so December 15th is when a lot of the players that sign new deals can become available. But I don't think it's like January that all the contracts become available. So it's possible, but I think that they may wait. Now, again, but January 10th is when THT's contract becomes fully guaranteed. And if the Bulls do need to take back more players than they send out, they may need that flexibility to be able to waive them. They could immediately re-sign them, but they may be able to need that flexibility to waive them to facilitate that deal. The Bulls are a far cry from NBA relevancy. However, defensive big man is a step in the right direction for sure. Definitely a step in the right direction. I think some of the inconsistencies you could factor in this youth and decision making, as well as lack of practices and days off. The next month there will be more days off in practices. Yeah, but I mean, a lot of people don't we teams usually don't get in a lot of practices during the season. It's more shoot around. So we'll see what more practices do. They have that long period of time where they're off from the 8th to the 19th, 11 days off. Which, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. Well, they'll probably have a game added in there at some point due to the playing tournament. But I tell you what, I'm looking forward to an extended break of games because last month killed me. What, we have 16 games in the month of November, something like that. It was crazy. It was crazy. limited data, but any thoughts on EJ Liddell? I mean, EJ Liddell is a raw player that has a lot of potential as a modern day kind of defensive player on the or forward. Like he can do that. He can block shots. His timing's really good on that. He can get steals, and he has some offensive upside. Like in the type of offense that the Bulls run, he can. That's probably the situation he can thrive the best at, and we'll just see what comes about it, man. But I'm not really looking for a whole lot of craziness to happen with EJ Liddell, but I'd love to be wrong on that one. By the way, that Alicia Lowe Bulls hat for the Pacers game is so good. How did you get it? If it's available at the game, does it become available on the website post game? Okay, so typically the artist series hats they become available like in the summer, like when it's off season. Like you can go on like the Madhouse in Madison, but I don't know if they ship internationally. But BKR, if you need one, I can get you one. I can get you one. I can do it. I can do it. Will I? I don't know because you didn't hit me to the butter with the Vegemite. But no, if you want one, just let me know. Hit me up, BKR. I'll make sure it happens for you, bro. Even if I gotta ship it myself, I'll make sure it happens for you. You see, I or Kobe gone. I want B here if they planning on making any trades. That makes sense. However, I would love to see someone like Ruri make it here, not no buy a Kobe trade. No, not buy a Kobe trade, but love to see it. I'm not worried about no Rui Hachimura. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about a Rui Hachimura. Brother, I was literally streaming. I was excited. I forgot about the butter. Haha, that's funny. That's hilarious. Ain't that the dude that's basically just taking up a roster spot without playing? What do you think of DJ? Oh, DJ Stewart's balling down in the G League. Like DJ Stewart is a nice player, and I mean I like him, Javon Freeman, Liberty when they're out there together. But it's like the fact that the Bulls are deepest at the guard position, he's going to always have a difficulty to ever even crack the rotation. But he's balling his ass off down in the G League, and he does it flawless too, flawless. If we do a Golden State Warriors trade, I wouldn't hate getting Jackson Davis, but I don't really know if he'd fit in here. I heard something about Vooch maybe going there, but hey, Facebook be tripping. You can't listen to Facebook rumors, but Trace Jackson Davis, I actually like him probably more than what I should as a player. So we'll see. Giddey must have turned into old Chicago Bulls Central. Saw my one titty auntie comment during halftime. My man had a healthy triple double. That's hilarious. Ali Fault says, Haize, now that was a fun game. It was a fun game, a very, very fun game to watch. I like how Matas hasn't really regressed since he's been playing more minutes, staying at a nice steady rock. It's amazing when you actually play players' minutes how they can develop, right? Who would have thought it? Billy Donovan, Billy Bubblegum. Who would have thought that when you play young players, they actually could possibly develop and get a little bit more confidence? Who would have thought that? It's revolutionary. I tell you, it's really revolutionary what Billy Donovan's doing here. So you don't see Rue as a nice fit at the four. I take him over P. Will anyway, and I still like the kid. But man, I mean, listen. I'm not saying that I wouldn't like him on this team. I'm just saying overall, like when it comes to Roy, I'm not really worried about. Like I'd much rather give those development minutes to Modest and Julian Phillips than make a trade specifically for. Now, if the Bulls got him back in like a Vooch trade or whatever, I'm not going to be mad at it, right? I wouldn't be mad at him being on this team. I just think it's kind of redundant with a lot of the skill set of the forwards we already have here. Hazy, we got a first round pick for Vooch before the trade deadline. Should we not keep Levine and draft a center for next season? If we could get Duarte in the ball headed hole, first of all, the fact that you abbreviated ball headed hole is hilarious. If we can get Duarte in the ball headed hole gone too next season, could be fun. Listen, they need to be gone. Chris Duarte is a free agent at the end of this year. The Bulls ain't gonna resign that kid. So yeah. It really depends, man. Like I've said it before on a daily episode that I can see a world in which the Bulls trade Vooch if they can get back a protected or unprotected pick if it's like slated to be in like the 20s. If they can get that back, And then I think that does make them worse, bad enough to keep their top 10 pick, potentially, right? Depending on how some things go. So it's a lot of different routes that you can go with it. It's not, what you pointed out is not something outside the realm of possibility. We just don't know. Nah, Haize, you told me, my bro, that he sent, but see, look, bro, Edwin, you know what? We almost at the end of the stream. I'm not going to allow myself to get stressed out. I'm not going to allow it to happen. I'm not going to allow it to happen. If we were going to play with this fast-paced style, Chicago may become a free agent attraction to a few players soon. Maybe. Just dropping by to show love, just getting home. Looks like the Bulls went to work and Matas looked good. He did. Definitely did, bro. Can't wait to hear video on it later, man. Muggsy, I'm late. Have you ate? Yes, I ate the Vegemite. They didn't tell me to eat it with butter, so it didn't take the cut off, you bastards. But I still love y'all. I foresee a package including Paul and Vooch. What are you searching on Pornhub there, Ali? That's a weird search category there, bro. Me and my girl just left the game, had a good time, got jerseys signed by Io and Levine, even got my hat signed by the bald-headed hoe. Why'd you get the bald-headed hoe to sign a hat? Listen, now you're gonna owe money because he signed your hat. No, I'm just playing. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you, man. But all right, man. I love you guys, man. Y'all make sure y'all stay in tune, man. You guys are just amazing people, man. I can't stress enough how amazing you guys are, how you guys support this channel. This has been a great run so far this season, even though it's been, first of all, here we go. Somebody needed to get cooked. First of all, the fact that you came in here talking about dick, butt, and jizz tells me what's on your mind. That's really strange that you came in the chat and the first three things that are on your mind are dick, butt, and cum. Like, that really tells us a lot about you. Like, don't let your fantasies become the reason why you get cooked out here. It's bad enough. It's bad enough that you got a long line of hard-dried socks lined up in your mama's basement because you keep trying to hide them from her and you're 40 years old. It's bad enough that you do that. Now you over here fantasizing about dick, butt, and cum in a Chicago Bulls win. That's what you're doing. Your name is Booth Master. That literally sounds like you out there chasing butt. It's fine. Listen, we don't judge you for it, but don't come in here trying to do that, man. Get your life together. Make better choices. It's bad enough that your mama was a coward, and that's why you exist here, because she couldn't get up. Just let motherfuckers just come all up inside. That's where the demons are, is in your mama's coochie. So, demon coochie baby, get your life together, bro. Don't come in here to get cooked. Love you guys, man. Make sure you guys are following the channel at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. That's thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Love you guys. Go Bulls. Peace.
Presentation of the Break Media.
Hold on. I had to come back because I didn't do it right. We just won a game. Let's get to the winning outro. My bad, y'all. Peace. Wait, did it get... Somebody deleted the winning outro. I don't think we have the winning outro anymore.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.